And then everything else about the displays on paper is the same, so they're both these bright, quality, Quad HD Super AMOLED displays. And then of course the larger display has a slightly lower pixel density number, but you won't notice. They're both ridiculous. And the S7 Edge is rocking that curved glass on both sides, which earned it its name. The glass just kind of overflows over both edges. Now, something barely talked about besides the different screen sizes is some other dimensions. The Galaxy S7 Edge is 0.2 millimeters thinner and 5 grams heavier than the regular Galaxy S7. Now, being heavier makes sense since it's a bigger phone, but the bigger problem of the old S6 Edge was the sides being hard to hold since it felt kind of like a blade in the hand. But Samsung did some work with new shaping on the back and side metal rails here of the phone. They're different this year, and it's not as hard to pick up or literally a pain to hold, even when the Edge is so thin. So the shape of the Edge is still very much different from the regular S7, but it's less dramatic, while still being easily one of the prettiest phones out there, hands down. Now, one of the other hardware things is the larger Galaxy S7 Edge also has a pretty significantly larger battery. Now, since it also has a bigger screen, the translation to battery life is a little less significant, but I actually do see a bit of a difference. I'd say maybe 10 to 15% longer battery life in the S7 Edge thanks to the bigger battery. And that right there is enough of a reason for me to really like having the extra space inside. And then lastly, of course, with the curves on either edge of the display, Samsung built in some software into the S7 Edge to take advantage of it. And the software is better than last year, but could still be better. Here's why. So it still has this tab to swipe out from the side to get to some shortcuts. And then you can keep swiping, of course, to move between different pages of different styles of shortcuts. So first of all, you can choose where exactly this tab is on your screen. It just kind of lives there. You can put it top right, top lower right, top left if you're lefty, bottom left, wherever you hold your hand. It's supposed to be easily accessible with your thumb. And you can have it be smaller, bigger, more or less transparent, even invisible, whatever. And then you can choose which edge panel shows up when you swipe. So if you don't want the contact shortcut to show up, you can just turn that off, or you can add stuff like a sports scores spoiler tab. Then there are a couple more things that aren't, on by default, like weather and a compass. They're all disabled. But then there's a little mini store, a Samsung mini store, just for buying and downloading more of these tabs. There's only about another dozen, but hey, if you find something you like, you can buy it. So Apps Edge is cool, right? It's just a couple shortcuts to your favorite apps from wherever you are. If you get into a certain app a lot, then you can always have it at your fingertips from just a thumb swipe in. Used to need a third-party app to do that. Now it's built into the software. The next one over is called Task Edge, where you can add shortcuts to different actions within apps. So like opening just the front-facing camera, or starting a stopwatch inside the clock app, stuff like that. Now, fun fact, years ago, way before this phone came out, I used to do exactly this on my Galaxy S3 with an app called SwipePad. SwipePad still exists today and still does all of this as good as the Edge display feature here, if not better, because Samsung's version here, it only features a couple first-party apps, 9 to be exact, and some of them I don't even use. So I would love to be able to add third-party apps, like opening up a new tweet function in my Twitter app, or a shortcut to open up the camera inside the Instagram app, or just little stuff like that, but I can't do any of that. None of them are supported. There is so much that could make this Tasks Edge section like my favorite Android skin feature ever, but I just don't think they even plan on adding support for third-party apps. So for now, it's just a couple of things that you may or may not even use. Anyway, past that, you have People Edge for your contacts, and, the Yahoo Sports thing, this favorite NBA or NFL or hockey or baseball or whatever sports teams you watch. And I threw in a calendar in there too for myself, but that's pretty much it. You can swipe between these tabs from wherever you are on the phone, and they're quick and handy access. And that's about it for the Galaxy S7 Edge. A bit of software, a little bit of curvy glass that make this phone different from the regular S7,